I am eating some cashews, and I was just about to go through. So I do a lot of workbooks. Like I do the DBT Green Notebook, like it's like a workbook you can get on Amazon. When I started my first DBT like group sessions, we worked strictly off that workbook, and it does help to do it in a group setting, obviously with someone like supervising and like helping you through it, understand it, because a lot of the stuff that you learn in, like, I'm gonna speak for myself, I learned through therapy or something, like my first therapist that gave me the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder was like, you know, get rest, go out and socialize, work out, and try and eat some healthy food in your diet. Like something that just seems like, oh, that makes sense, but I did not, it didn't go through. So sometimes you need that check-in, because they're like, okay, were you exercising this week? And they're like, if you're being honest, like, no. So sometimes like the common sense things aren't so common, especially if you have a personality disorder. Hi, by the way, if you don't know, my name is Trish. I have a personality disorder, and I also have I forget what it's called, like psychological disease, something like that. Like there's also something wrong with my brain as far as psychosis, I think. I'm probably saying all that wrong. I also got 2 diagnoses of schizophrenia this year, 2021. So I'm on medication for schizophrenia, and there's obviously no medication for BPT, only treatment. So I do go to treatment. I did Zoom group therapy for DBT and stopped going. I do Zoom individual therapy, but I'm trying to go back to in-person because that really does help me more. And I'm trying to find classes in my area that does group DBT. There's a lot. It's just they're usually pretty full. So other people going through it too. So having said all that, I'm heavily monitored on my new medication for schizophrenia. I want to be off it, but I don't know if it's like even taking effect yet. So I'm giving it some more. I feel like it has, even if it's like placebo effect, because I feel like I'm not having hallucinations as much. I hear bells and like whistles and stuff, but not the voices, which is good. So in the interim of getting help for my borderline, which is look, here's the thing. I want to say first and foremost that like most everyone suffers with some mental disease, illness. Like there's so many varieties, and like whether that's depression, anxiety, like there's a lot. I want to say I would wager, but everyone has a little bit. I would say 100% of the population has something, right? Obviously there's some more severe than others, and I feel like borderline is pretty severe, but it's also kind of become like trendy in a way, and so many people get like mad at me, like other people at BBT, like Trisha does not speak for us, that is not how borderline's act. And like I agree, there's total levels of it, there's total controls of it too. Like people are better at controlling it, some people are in therapy, some people are not. Therapy is really new to me. I just started in 2019, so yeah, I don't speak for people with borderline. Any issues and drama that you've seen online, like I don't directly relate to borderline, and I've seen psychologists, I'm not rolling my eyes at that, but like I've seen psychologists like explain it, and I think that's cool, like it helps explain it, but like ultimately I do have control over getting help and seeking help, because we all have to deal with it, and it's all our own responsibility to get help and like manage it for ourselves and for everyone around us. So yeah, borderline is relatively new. Like I said, I got diagnosed in 2019, so it's like relatively new for me. I was in 3 mental hospitals. This is like my credentials for me being crazy. I went to 3 mental hospitals in 2019, all involuntary, for 250. So I think they're a crock of hoo-ha with the mental, at least the mental facilities that they take you to when you're 5150. I think there's like really good wellness centers, and like I probably could benefit going to some of those, but I'm also in therapy with my partner, my fiance. For me, we're not like a couples therapy, he goes with me, because there's also like, if you are in a relationship, especially with borderline, it's really important for that person to know if they're willing, because like it's no one else's responsibility at all, right? It's not your employers, it's not your friends, it's not people online, it's no one else's responsibility. But if you do have a life partner, like it's really cool if they do want to get to learn more about these things, because especially triggers, what triggers me to like go off, he thought was me trying to control a situation. So if I said like, I'm not gonna even talk about like the trigger, but like he would say stuff and I'd be like, we need to end it. And he thought that was me just trying to control, like just not talking about it anymore. But there was like, now he understands when I say I need to end it, it's not a control thing. And it's like, but same thing with him. It's like, it's boundaries. Boundaries are a big thing with borderlines. We did a whole video, and if you guys want to see another video about me and Moses, or Moses, like, and how he disengages. And it can be like kind of like tough, right? When someone disengages, you want to scream and stuff like that. But like as soon as he like leaves the room and disengages, that's when I know I need to like calm down and go take my nap. I need to do my exercises. These have actually helped so much. Because let me tell you, I did not get a grip on my emotions, obviously. And that's on me. Something happened, not that serious. It escalated. I escalated. And I really needed to. The first one we're gonna talk about is my mindfulness one. This one's really good, the top pink one. Okay. Where's the duck? Or where's the blue, the duck? There was one about duck's back and I wanted to tell you guys. No. So basically this is set. It's the DBT deck. Yeah, it says for clients and therapists, so obviously it's probably good to have someone, but hey, it doesn't like hurt. Reading this to myself doesn't hurt, even if I'm not like clicking or I'm not really understanding it. I found it. Practice a Teflon mind. This is it. So it goes through, it's color coordinated, which is really cool. It's dialectics, mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. And I really am focusing now on mindfulness and emotion regulation. They all apply to me. I am checking all the boxes for BBT, but practice a Teflon mind. Do not react to potentially stressful situations, criticisms, or anything else that might stick to you and cause needless suffering. And it's a Teflon mind. Instead, let these experiences slide right through your words. It's like water off our duck's back. We all know that's hard for me to do. And like ultimately, like I shouldn't be responding to drama like I did the enemies episode or whatever, and even doing frenemies. Like ultimately, like maybe that's not the best situation for me to be in, but because I thought I had more control over my emotions, which I need help with emotional regulation, I thought I could handle it because I really did have a hold on my emotions, I feel, for like a minute, and then they kind of slipped away when I stopped doing my workbooks. So that's something I try and do. And as far as like, do not react to potentially stressful situations, or anything else. So this is, I more apply to real life, work environment, the people around me, the people that support me, and not so much like, I'm pretty good at disengaging from internet drama. It doesn't affect me as much. Like obviously it's like not a healthy thing for people to engage in, but hey, it's kind of what I do online. And you know, I've always been someone that responds to like what people talk about me, you know, or like stand up for myself. I know so many people like, you start all the drama and stuff like that, and I take accountability. Like that word is also getting used way too much, but you know, I totally take responsibility for, yes, like, you know, bringing stuff to the internet that like didn't have to be. But for me, it was always like a struggle of like standing up for myself. And for me, I thought like blasting it on the internet was the only way to be heard and to be like listened to, because it does work. Like people listen to you, people call you, people apologize, whatever, but not the way to handle it. So now I, you know, if I talk about people online, like it's I expect a response back, and then like that's it. It doesn't go into the real life, but it's something I need to practice more anyway. So I am picking out the cards that I've been using lately. So this will be like the longest video ever. Okay. So I kind of picked one from each category. So this is the Be Flexible card. We cause a lot of needless misery for ourselves by being too rigid in our thoughts and feelings. While we do not want to go to the other extreme, because there is like the all black, all white, which we've heard people talk about, there's a lot to be said for learning to be flexible and to go with the flow. Learn to consider other perspectives and practice being more flexible with situations, moving with realities rather than trying to impose your will on everything. And this is the one thing, okay, and this is people who learn to bend do not break. And that is, this is like the card, this is like the winner card for me, because I do feel like I have been able to go with the flow a lot more. I used to be such a control freak. It was all or nothing. You either love me and obsessed with me, or you hate me, you know, like but to really go with the flow. And in relationships, the minute I like let go of control in my relationship now, like it really changed. Moses is a completely different person when I met him. I'm a completely different person when I met him. Like, I'll just straight up say it, my relationship at the beginning, I like straight up begged for him to come see me. I would go to his house, like bang on the door to see me. Like, I was sending just nudes, which is fine, there's no judgment there, but I was just like grasping for attention, just being like, I would just send sexual messages all the time, just like get him to come over, like just the most, right? And not that he like would just jump when I would say it, but I was like, I wanted to be like boyfriend, girlfriend right away, like, you know what I mean? And then there's things that happen or whatever, and then he took his space, and I was like blowing him up. I was like, oh my God, I miss you. And then when I was like, let me just let it go, it came back around, like, because it was like meant to be or whatever. And then when we got back in the relationship, I was like, I am not pushing anything anymore. Even now, I have to be very much like mindful about it, but like still I'm very like, no, what do you want to do? Let's do this, like, everything. And it just, and he's so go with the flow, like literally he's water, he's so go with the flow. So like, it does kind of have this nice like wave, right? Like where you have this good like, so, and in general, I try and just go with the flow more and not be such a control entity on things. But yeah, people who learn to bend do not break. I was like, yeah. So learning from other people's perspectives, or just taking in other people's perspectives. Like I used to just be like, I don't want to hear, I don't know, I'm right. But I would say, I'm right maybe 1 out of 100 instances, for real. Like in the moment, I'll always feel I'm right, but then I look back, I'm like, no. Okay, so we have distress tolerance, which I'm actually also really hard dealing with this stuff, but ground yourself. Sometimes distress checks us out of the moment. If you start feeling unreal or are drifting out of the moment, try some of the following grounding skills. Observe and describe who and what is around you. The more detail, the better, no matter how small. This is so true. And I don't know, I always thought like this was like my schizophrenia, right? Because I will feel like even on Zoom calls, or which I really don't try and do now. I've hired someone to like help me out with Zoom calls too, to be kind of like a manager, like a project manager of things, because I will start feeling like prison almost. And so you look around and you're like, oh, I'm not in prison, I see. And maybe this is a little PTSD for mental hospitals, but like even when I sleep, I like wake up. I like wake up a lot and stuff like that, and I think I'm there. So like it takes me a minute, and then once I can like observe my surroundings, I can fall asleep a lot faster. But yeah, just like kind of, it's also like a distraction. Obviously a therapist and like people in these group classes will help you so much more with this. I'm not trying to say I'm an expert at all, but this is what it helps for me. Work your senses, name what you see, hear, smell, and touch. Breathe slowly and deeply, saying the word here to yourself, as in breathe in, here, breathe out, now, here, now. And also kind of helps with overall anxiety. Get up and move your body mindfully, noticing the connection between your movement and the physical environment. Just you're into reality. Again, I thought that was schizophrenia, where I really took myself out of reality, and not even in like prison or mental hospital, like really just like at my old house. I mean, I was coming off drugs, but I remember being like, I was floating. I mean, that was drugs, but you know what I mean? Like like that kind of stuff helps. But this is basically just like how to cope. So basically this is talking about cope with stress by crisis. What is distress tolerance? And ineffective behaviors of coping include alcohol, drug use, self-injury, gambling, spending money, overeating. Me, it was like also just sex all the time. As an alternative, we can learn and practice distress tolerance skills to manage stress in crisis ways. To start, make 2 lists. List 1 is your ineffective coping behaviors, and I have that list, and my list is literally like, it was a lot: overspending, overeating, sex, but there was like also 100 more. And then list 2 is your healthy coping behaviors. Everyone has at least a few healthy coping behaviors, and I'm telling you, when I started, I didn't. I had none. I said sleep, which I guess is a healthy coping behavior if you don't oversleep, sleep too much. Your goal is to eliminate behaviors on the first list while developing the behaviors on the second. And for me, visuals, writing stuff down, seeing stuff, like, does help me. But yeah, the more I was like, okay, this is like a healthy coping way, like the better. Even beyond therapy, like going for walks, going for a swim, like not being on my phone for the weekend, not being on my phone after 6, like that kind of stuff. We talked about practice the Teflon mind, and then self-care, please. This is an acronym. P is for physical health, comes from going to the doctor as needed and following treatment recommendations. L is list resources and strengths. E is eat healthy foods in a balanced way, avoid drugs and alcohol, sleep enough to feel good, exercise every day. Daily practice makes a difference. And honestly, the avoid drugs and alcohol, again, I'm not like this like sober whatever, but like it really helped me so much getting like clean. You know, I don't, I always say like, you know, my drug problem's not severe as some other people's, right? But I had a problem. But when I got sober, which is so weird to say, because I'm, you know, I will have like champagne like when I celebrate, like just not having alcohol and drugs, like it really does wonders. So sleep enough to feel good, exercise every day. It's kind of like that basic thing I was telling you about. The exercise every day changed my life. I did a weigh-in the other day and I only lost like 6 pounds, and I was like, I've literally been going down to my gym like twice a day, 3 times a day. Like I was going for hours and I was like, I only lost 7 pounds, but even now I'm snacking on cashews. I try and make like better choices and like think about like, okay, we're going out Friday, so we'll probably have Benihana, which means fried rice. So I'm gonna just like eat clean and then I'll really enjoy it. And I'm telling you, I enjoy it so much more. We probably go out 3 nights a week. So like we'll have like, we had a seafood boiled crab out. It was really good. Then we had like a brunch out. And then we have, oh, Middle Eastern, Israeli food out. So like they taste so much better. I still haven't got pasta. I keep saying this in every video, but pasta's so bad. But I know it's gonna taste so bomb when I get it. But I like the way I feel. I feel good. I feel, my mind gets better. So again, like these are just giving you, this is something like a therapist or your group therapist will go over with you. And they explain it so much better, because some of these things I'm like, I don't know what this means. You know, I just go past. I'm like, no apologies mean you don't make it necessary. Also never did this one. Like dripping water, this type of apology erodes your bedrock of self-respect. You need not apologize for having an opinion. Okay, just trying to take back your power. For needing assistance or for situations for which you are not responsible. I do apologize a lot. I didn't know that was a bad thing. Oh my God, maybe I need to delve into this. Maybe I need to go back to my group therapy. Notice the circumstances in which you apologize and then begin to resist overly apologetic behaviors. This is so interesting. Anyways, yeah, if you do DBT classes, the ones I've been in require you to also be in individual therapy. So I would highly recommend seeing an individual therapist first, and usually they can refer you if you need the DBT classes or not. But yeah, they really do help. I like, you know, I don't think this was like a bottom, but I've had bottoms online, like rock bottoms, where I'm just like, oh my God, I need to do, you know, but I just want to reassure everyone that like I take care of my, like I am taking care of, you know what's so funny is like I go to therapy, I was on medication, all this stuff like that, and I'm like, well, I take care of myself, that's what I do. But like really just like not doing the physical workout, or at least just like going on a treadmill for 20 minutes, like it makes such a difference. It makes such a freaking difference. Sleeping makes such a freaking difference. And just eating a couple meals that are good and have nutrients, and like it makes such a difference. I feel like I have to scream that because like it seems so common sense knowledge. Like you went to a therapist to learn that, but like I had to be screamed at it. And then hearing this again on the self-care blue card, I was like, heck yeah. Anyways, I don't know if this was I don't know if this is boring, but I don't know. I kind of felt I was actually coming up here to edit. I'm looking at my cards and I was like, actually my camera is here, so I'm like, let me just film. But yeah, I'm gonna go work out. And also the cashews are so addicting. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.